Hey, we're live. We're live.
We are. Oh, there's the light. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Cheers. Who's in there?
Esta mañana tiene mucho sol
Oh,
aquí.
see, we love the sunlight. We've had lots of it in the last week or two, a couple weeks actually. So I have to apologize, guys. I had planned to put out today. We what was it, 2 weeks ago? We spent a week at the Hard Rock Resort in Playa del Carmen. Fantastic, by the way. It was our third time going there.
Something like that.
Love it there. But we filmed all kinds of scenery and a whole pile of they have a whole bunch of like rock memorabilia up all over the walls and everything. It's such a fabulous place. And I screwed up all of the audio. It's all terrible. So I can't use it. So we were going to put that video out today.
You should do just some of the visuals with like Benny Hill music or something.
Oh, Lord. Well, that could be interesting in a different way.
Right?
So
Speed it up.
So sorry, guys. We tried to take you along on our vacation and I screwed it up. So technical difficulties when you're. I'm going to be 50 this year, and it blew my mind when I thought about it yesterday. And already not very technically proficient, so I'm going to need to start learning more about how to use these things. These
These
things.
things that most of which you can't see, but we're looking at.
I'm better with the power saw than I am with the computer. So it's new for me. So who's all in there? Nobody's talking.
Say something.
Yeah, we got a few. It's a quiet morning today. I know it's early on Sunday, but
That's the best time for coffee and hanging out.
it's true. We have people coming for dinner tonight, so we couldn't do a nighttime one, which is my preference. I like to do the nighttime ones. It's a little more lively, I think.
Stefan Last is here.
Hello, sir.
Good afternoon, Sweden. Good morning, Denise. Where are you, Denise?
Yeah,
Obviously on this side of the Atlantic, or it would not be morning.
indeed. So, and we just got back from a 3-day trip to Bocas del Toro, which is a little group of islands off the coast, off the north coast, the Caribbean coast of Panama. Also a fabulous trip. Very different than Mexico. I'm a baby,
Hi,
Ruben.
Stephen, in the middle of the night. Good to see you. Sorry for the timing on your end.
I think Stephen never sleeps, actually. I get that
Could be.
feeling. I know how you feel because I never do either.
Norway.
Excuse me.
Glasgow. Nice.
What are we cooking? I'm cooking pork schnitzel with mashed potatoes for dinner because we're having one of our Tico neighbors who was taking care of our property while we were away. I'm having him over for dinner as a thank you, and he's never had schnitzel before. He's not very old, but like he's traditional local Tico who I don't think has traveled at all.
Not much.
So schnitzel will be new for him, and it's a family favorite here. So yeah, Stephen, not much sleep. I notice as I get older, I get less hours. I don't know if it's my body just saying, no, you don't got much time left. You got to make what you can of it.
I think it's got more to do with your rooster.
What pork schnitzel? Pig nose? No. No, I just use cutlets. I don't eat the weird parts, right? Like the feet and the ears and the nose and the tongue of animals. I'm sure they're delicious. My first husband was Bulgarian and he loved to make this soup out of the pig's ear. And the smell of it just made me want to throw up. I can't do it. So, no. I mostly only eat the parts where you can't recognize the animal it came from.
Yeah, just regular pig meat, pounded flat, breaded, fried.
Ruben, Panama, so many mountains. No, not really.
Not compared to here.
No.
We got more mountains.
Costa Rica, the whole country is mountains, and Panama has like a little collection of mountains right up against the border of Costa Rica, and then it just suddenly gets flat, and it just stays flat
all the way to the canal.
All the way to the canal. It's where we drove through were mountains to get to Bocas del Toro, and it was beautiful there. But hey, Basil, how's it going? So Basil reminds me of something I wanted to bring up. So we have a stalker commenter. It's been with us since almost the beginning. I'm almost flattered by the dedication, but this stalker comment likes to routinely leave nasty comments, right? Negative ones, always negative, always, always, and sometimes gratuitously so. And I keep blocking this person and they keep coming back. And I know it's the same person. I won't say why, but I know it is. And I don't understand people like that. And if you are like that, get a life
Mhm.
because I'm just going to keep blocking you. We don't need gratuitous negativity. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to not even like a song. But if every single song we put out there, you say it's terrible, why are you still watching?
Mhm.
Right? Like, seriously. So, and I say Basil reminds me of it, not because it's Basil, we love him, but because I saw he commented sarcastically to one of to one of those nasty comments on our most recent video. You won't see it now because I've blocked him again. But I keep wondering why he comes back, right? Like you obviously don't enjoy it here. People are weird.
I thought for a moment you were just gonna say because Basil's the polar opposite. Always
Well,
comments with
also
something
that.
positive.
Also that, right? Like there's lots of ways you can disagree without being a dickhead, right? And yeah, I think it's sad when you have to keep making new profiles so that you can keep going back and leaving nasty comments, right? Like you need a better life. So
All right, we got to catch up on this. Okay, so
I have been watching.
Darling West featuring Sivert Hoyam.
Ooh, we
Yeah.
like him.
Yeah, that sounds like worth checking out.
Oh no, Danny Minogue. Somebody mentioned it and then I forgot. We should look at that soon too.
We should.
I have a couple things on the list we have to get to, but we have some acts that dropped new stuff like unexpectedly, and then we had to get to that. Like that falling in verse song was so friggin' good. I've listened to it so many times since yesterday. So, oh,
James
Gary
has
Newman, we have to get back to.
41 times.
That's a lot of times. It never gets tired. I mean, I bet the shows are always really good, but I don't know. Would I go pay? Well, okay. I guess I've paid to see Billy Bragg 4 times. That's the most I've ever paid to see the same person over and over again.
I think the most for me actually is a tie at 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Who?
Blue Rodeo
Oh,
and
yeah.
U2.
You've seen U2
I
twice?
have
Oh.
2 different tours when they hit Toronto.
I guess when their catalog's really large, like really large, then it doesn't get too boring because there's always
Different
new
parts of
stuff
it
to
in the
go through.
show. Yeah.
I think that's why Billy Bragg was always easy to get through multiple times because he always played different stuff. So. Oh, Basil, I was watching some different reactions to Ren, and the same people kept popping up with their negative comments.
Why keep watching reactions to Ren if you don't like Ren? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's like, is that your
I think Denise said it
purpose
best.
in life?
The troll life.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like it couldn't be me.
You people like this thing? I must come and crap on it. Trollololol.
Yeah. Well, when it's one person always on the same reaction channel, it's obviously not the music that they hate, it's us, right? Like it just I don't know. I never liked it when people let their dogs just wander around the neighborhood and shit on other people's doorsteps. So, that's what it reminds me of, is like that, right? Like a stray dog. So, speaking of dogs, you have to offer us condolences. While we were away, we lost our puppy. Our puppy Bruno was staying here, and our neighbor was taking care of the property, checking in on him. And on the last day, as we were returning home, he was seen by our next door neighbor in the morning and then hasn't been seen since. And it's been 2 days. And I've gone all around the neighborhood and all over the property. I can't figure out where he's gone. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah.
I hope he's okay.
Hope so.
Hope he's just. I actually hope somebody just took him because he was a really beautiful dog. I hope somebody just stole him because they wanted him for
himself. One of our
himself.
friends said, "Oh, he's a very pretty dog. Somebody might have just taken him." Apparently, that's a thing here.
Yeah. I hope that, though, because there's a bunch of coyotes in the area. I'm hoping that it wasn't. They got scooped up. He was getting pretty big. I don't know.
Well, now we're big enough for a pack of coyotes to
It's
worry
true,
about.
but I don't like to think about it.
No.
So
So anyway, cross our fingers that Bruno is well, and even better that he comes home to us. But for now, no Bruno.
yeah, I hope he comes home soon too. But we've had enough animals in our lives to be realistic that he never goes far. So for him to be gone for 2 days is pretty
Yeah,
extraordinary.
he's never gone further than next door to play with
Yeah,
their dogs.
yeah. And I mean, he has Dave here that he loves to play with. So for him to be away from Dave for that long, it's really, I can't see it happening.
Foul to chase, which he sometimes does.
Yeah. So sadly, I'm
Yeah.
hoping for the best, but I'm not holding my hopes too
Dog
high.
culture here is weird, eh?
Hmm.
We were talking to, I guess, Steve, one of our neighbors. He's like, yeah, my first 2 years here, I had 10 dogs. Like they just
kind of wander into the property and they become yours.
oh, and they wander away, or somebody takes them, or it's
Hmm.
like, oh, my wife gave one away to somebody on the beach, wanted the dog. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I guess it's a different way here. So
Yeah. I mean,
we can.
we're not going to ever be that way, but it is for some people, I guess.
Oh, there's a nice dog. I'll take it.
So Denise mentions about Ren. He's certainly learned to craft his illness into art, and that's true.
Hmm.
I think actually a lot of, especially musical artists, do that. Just sometimes it's not so obvious, right? Like every song tells a story most of the time. I mean, sometimes songs are just written for you, and it's not really that. But an artist that writes their own songs, usually, I find they've taken an experience, often negative, sometimes positive in their life, and they've put it to music sort of thing so they can share it,
Hmm.
right? It's cathartic that way. So I think music in particular allows people the freedom and creativity to do that. So some do it more artfully than others. I would call Ren's work more artful than average, right? It takes a lot to put music out the way he does and keep it interesting and not alienating, I think, because sometimes it can be too artful, right? Like those weird art house poets, right? But
Now I'm suddenly thinking of So I Married an Axe Murderer.
oh yeah, woman.
Whoa, man.
And I hate to say it, when I hear Ren, I often think about the joke in that movie, but not because he's kind of cheesy like that, but just because I enjoy it as much as I enjoyed that one. What can
Hello,
I say?
Salford lad. Nice to see you live.
Oh, what does that say? Danby. Would you ever react to movies too or prefer music videos? So we've answered this question a few times, and the answer's always been no, because I'm a terrible movie watcher. I talk all the way through it. I'm that person you really, really hate to watch movies with, but also copyright issues. But I gotta be honest, there's been a couple times we've talked about it, and I'm starting to think to myself, maybe we should give it a try, right?
Maybe.
Sometimes I find myself very amusing.
Have to figure out how to do it. The thing with the
Yeah.
music video is like we like to watch it and absorb it for the most part, and then talk about it after. And you can't really do that with a movie reaction.
No,
right?
I'd have to talk
We'd
through it
have
like
to, we'd
I
have to
like I do.
adjust format. Hmm.
Yeah, but it's tempting. It's tempting because we love watching movies, right? But it would also be hard these days to find a movie we haven't watched, right? Because we love watching movies. We've watched lots, and sometimes we're sitting on Netflix, and it's like 15 minutes of scrolling, and we still haven't found anything we haven't watched. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a tough one. So is there
Oh,
a theme today, Ruben asks? Tell you what, if you want a theme, talk to us about your travels, because we've been traveling.
Yeah, we've been traveling like crazy. Also, I noticed we're like less than 1,500 away from 100K, and we still haven't made a solid plan for what we're doing for the 100K celebration, guys. It's happening so fast, and we've been so busy. I don't know what we're gonna do yet, but we will come up with something. I promise. But we better do it fast because I think in the next month or two we'll hit there.
Mm-hmm.
So any suggestions you have for what you'd like to see for our 100K celebration, I'll put it in the hopper because we have not solidified on any plan yet. So
So Salford Lad wants to know our favorite Smith song and favorite Morrissey solo song.
Okay, so
That is a deep
Mike and I are
mine.
really funny when it comes to the Smiths / Morrissey and Billy Bragg. We love both those acts, like whole catalog acts, but we have very, very different tastes in which songs are our favorites. So, your favorite Morrissey / Smith song?
Well, I'm gonna pick one of each, but
Oh, are
it's a
you?
lot of work to
It is
figure.
a lot of work. I can't do that because I'm having a hard time remembering all the Smiths songs, and I have a hard time sometimes identifying which is the Smiths and which is just Morrissey. Right? 'Cause, I'm not that good at it, and, since he sings all of them, what would my favorite be?
So off the top of my head, favorite Smith songs. The first thing that popped into my head is "A Rush and a Push" and "The Land Is Ours."
Oh, really?
I love that one, and of course, I mean, Big Mouth Strikes Again. Like
Yeah.
the whole Queen is Dead album is
The
fantastic.
entire Queen is Dead album for sure.
I mean,
But Big
it's
Mouth
so-
Strikes Again, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
Morrissey, I'd probably pick, Kiss You. Let me kiss you.
I'd let you.
I love that one. It's so cheesy, right? So overdramatic. It's very extra the way that I appreciate.
I really love First of the Gang. Poor Hector. Spent the Day in Bed, which we only more recently discovered.
Yeah.
Every time that comes on, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to narrow down. Salford Lad, how about you? What are your favorites?
Yeah. Oh, Stefan List. Problem with Iona Lee reactions getting blocked. Is that still the case? We haven't actually tried another one of hers recently, so I couldn't say. Suppose it's possible.
Yeah, we did have problems and kind of moved on. I haven't
Yeah.
really thought about her.
It's just really hard to. It takes over an hour for sure, at least, to record and edit and upload a video, and to have it keep getting blocked, it starts to get like a waste of time that we can't afford. So sometimes we just don't make the effort anymore once it's happened a couple times. But the blocking rules have changed somewhat, and some artists are getting more open about it. So, I mean, might be worth a try again. There's a couple artists that used to block all the time that suddenly have started letting things get through. So, I think attitudes are changing about it.
James wants to watch you make an apple pie. And you haven't had a video up on your channel for a while. I was gonna
make an apple pie today for our neighbor. I don't know if I have enough time to set up all the cameras for that, but I haven't done a cooking video. I haven't actually done any videos on my channel for a while. I have like 5 sitting on the computer waiting to be edited, but it takes hours and hours and hours to edit my videos. So, but I could make an apple pie. Oh, actually, I thought I did an apple pie video. Maybe I did never put it up. I'll have to look. But yeah, I was gonna make one today. Apple pie is my favorite to make. So, Lord of the Lost did a piano version of Blood and Glitter.
That'd be interesting.
It would be interesting. We probably won't do a reaction to it because we just finished doing the proper song. But I'd watch that just for kicks. Suffered Lad likes our choices. Then yours, difficult but Smith's, Reel Around the Fountain, and Solo, Interesting Drug.
So I had Viva Hate on repeat for like an entire summer.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting Drug's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Reel Around the Fountain, I don't know, always kind of left me cold.
I don't even know that one. Or I probably do, but I don't know it by name. There's a lot of Smith songs like that for me. Oh, Denmark is cold but sunny. Ooh. Oh, so she went to Denmark for vacation, Isabel. Yeah. Denmark in the winter is not something I would choose, but when I go on vacation, I try to make it hot. But then again, I wanted to go to Norway. It will be colder at all times. So maybe my attitude's changing. Oh, Interesting Drug is a fun video. Now that's interesting because there's not a lot of videos out there for Smith songs.
It's Morrissey solo.
Oh, is it Morrissey solo?
Mm-hmm.
Even still.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be good because I like watching the videos.
Temps above freezing in the Great White North.
What? Wasn't it like minus 41 the other day in Canada? I had so many friends send me that. I was like, You guys can keep all that. I don't miss it for a second. I remember the days when Mike would go into a spirit box reaction not knowing he would be getting screamed at.
I'm wise to them now.
Yeah, we gotta catch him by surprise now.
She says she has trouble telling, so I'm just helping.
Yeah. So Ruben wants to know if we're excited about the Academy Awards this year.
There were movies this year.
We have never
Top Gun, I guess.
watched the Academy Awards, not even once. Sometimes I'll take a look at the red carpet pics because I like some of the dresses. But honestly, Hollywood actors, most of them are complete douchebags, and I'm not even remotely interested in hearing anything they have to say.
Tell me what you really think, Ginger.
Yeah, and like for people that love movies, and we really love movies, it's been a long time and very rare these days to find a movie that's not just complete trash. Like I'm just so tired of Hollywood either just kind of remaking and re-rinsing old stories and not even in a good way, or just making up stuff that's completely unbelievable. And it's not even entertaining. I don't know. Movies, it's getting harder and harder to find good ones these days. Yeah, I don't need to be lectured to for the most part. So, what's your science background? Alfred Ladd wants to know.
So I have a Bachelor of Science degree in biology, McMaster University, 1993, that I've never used because government was laying off biologists the year I was graduating. So I immediately turned around and learned about computers and worked in computers for my whole career.
Jamie, I'm with you about that.
So my background in biological sciences is rusty, but not insignificant, but very rusty.
Yeah, he hasn't used it in a while. Mount Washington in New Hampshire. Oh, I saw a video yesterday from the top of Mount Washington.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, thank you.
That looked devastating. I couldn't even imagine it. The rule for in Jamie's house is pre-2015 movies. That's probably decent.
Some of the like Netflix stuff for like a trashy action movie and stuff, just if you're not expecting too much is okay post 2015.
Yeah, there's been a couple outliers.
But if you want a real solid movie, that's probably a good rule.
Yeah, especially science fiction, guys. We love science fiction, and there hasn't been a good science fiction movie in a long time that I can think of.
Ex Machina.
Oh, okay, but that was a while. That was a long time ago. Now. But I mean, it's an outlier too. There hasn't been a lot of really good ones lately. I liked Life. It was devastating.
Oh, that was a hard
to watch, but it was really good, and I liked the concept behind it. Right, like the whole idea of it. So there's a couple outliers, but in general, a lot of the science fiction stuff is just, once again, trash, right? Like, same with books, though, right? Like, we're science fiction, fantasy readers, too, and I find newer stuff these days is just...
Basil speaking your love language.
Not since Logan's Run.
She loves that movie.
I love you, Basil. I do love that movie. It's total trash. But it's good campy trash, right? Like Logan's Run. And the good thing is, even though Logan's Run was one of those movies that it's just so campy, it's almost hurts your eyes. The thing is, it had a premise behind it that was a good thought experiment, right? And there's a lot of movies like that where the thought experiment is where it really, where the rubber hits the road, right? And it makes it interesting.
You mentioned books or maybe comment there. You know, when I was a kid, if I saw a Hugo or Nebula award-winning thing on the book, I'd pick it up and read it out of the library.
Yeah.
But at some point,
it got so politicized.
I just, it only stuff that was hammering message ever won it, and I started to take it as a warning sign.
Yeah.
So, it won a Nebula. Better not read it.
Which is kind of like Oscars for me now.
Hugo,
right?
We're not watching
when they start listing all the Oscar awards they win, I think to myself, that looks like a movie I'm not going to be interested in.
So hold on one sec, Jamie. What is your sci-fi book series with lots of scenes on Mount Washington? If it's your favorite, it might be worth looking at because I've struggled to find new
Salford
stuff to
Lad
read for
wants to know
years.
what the last live music experience we had was. That mid-year, right before the pandemic.
Yeah, that was probably the last formal concert we went to.
Yeah,
I mean, we've seen like live bands like in the square walking by in Cartago and stuff.
Yeah, but like a concert that we purchased
yeah,
tickets to was mid-year at Daryl's house in Connecticut.
Just on the border of Connecticut, Pauling, New York.
Oh yeah, Pauling, New York in February of 2020.
Yeah.
Fabulous concert. One of the best I've ever been to, for sure. And it was this tiny little bar. There was maybe 200 people.
200 people. Yeah.
It was fabulous.
Yeah, up close and intimate.
Mm-hmm.
And mid-year is fantastic.
Yeah, I got to make a song request and ask him a question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was kind of an interactive. He was telling stories and taking questions and singing
great.
songs. It was fantastic.
Oh, Jamie says Saul Logan's run at the theater. Okay, I wasn't old enough. I'm not old enough for that. I have it on DVD though. I still have it on DVD. Sadly for my husband. Okay, so Stefan last. I want to release video for the song Samaritan. Okay. Oh, we really enjoyed our Emily.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, see, Basil feels the same way about Oscar movies, right? Like, there's been a couple where that rule doesn't really come through, but generally, as a
rule of thumb,
if it has a whole ton of Oscars, it's not something I'm going to enjoy, right? And too many of them are becoming really, really preachy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to be preached to. I want you to put the idea out there and let it kind of roam around in my head, and I'll come up with my own ideas. That's the way I prefer it, right?
Okay, so I'll have to look into Julie and May because we've both been looking for new stuff to read.
The Galactic Milieu. It's 3 series comprising a single extended narrative.
That ought to keep me in books for a
while.
while.
Hi, History Buff. How are you doing? Where are you at these days? Are you in Florida now or back up north where it's wicked cold?
I'm just looking for the cool cats.
He means Todd and Margot.
Oh, okay.
That's our cats, Todd and Margot. They're pretty cool. But I don't know where they are. They're hunting.
Me, not so much.
Yeah, Stephen, too much comic-based movies. Now, so I was talking about this with Mike just this morning, actually. We were talking about Marvel movies in particular. I used to love, like I did comics collections when I was a teenager and whatnot. I used to love comic book movies. When they first came out, some of them were really good. That first Spider-Man was fantastic.
Was exciting back in the day.
Yeah, and I love Man of Steel, actually, with Henry Cavill. Stuff like that, but so much of it has gotten ridiculous, like completely ridiculous. It's way too long. There's too many really obnoxious fight scenes.
Yeah,
and
the bad CGI fight scene. Well, not bad, but like takes you out of it.
And the preachiness of it, and
looks fake.
Like that one Superman movie. I can't even remember which one it was. Maybe it was Man of Steel. Like when the fight scene went on so long, and like they're crashing whole apartment buildings, and you think to yourself, I just can't cheer for the good guy, even though he's the good guy, when I'm thinking of the hundreds and thousands of people that are getting killed in this stupid little fist fight. When you both know fists aren't going to kill each other, right? Like it's gratuitous and it's silly, and I don't know.
Death Race 2000.
What? Oh. Yeah, I don't like what? Order to read The Many-Colored Land, The Golden Torque?
This is for the book series.
Oh, okay. Groovy.
Okay, Stephen, we're going to have to disagree on Deadpool. Deadpool,
yeah, we loved Deadpool. That was at least clever.
It was like, yeah, it was.
I
it
love
didn't take
Ryan
itself
Reynolds.
seriously like the other ones, right? Like Deadpool is deliberately a joke.
Yeah.
And we liked the joke and laughed a lot.
Yeah. Deadpool was one of those rare ones where I went in kind of not expecting too much because I'd started to get really kind of tired of the excuse me, the comic book trope, but that one actually caught me by surprise how much fun it was to watch.
That had the most brilliant opening credits ever.
It really did.
That was amazing.
Salford Lad says the early Batman movies. Yes, all the Tim Burton ones, even the really bad ones. Those are my favorites. I don't like Chris Nolan stuff.
Too dark?
It's not that it's I like dark. It's not that. It's just too ordinary. Right? Like for me, Batman was always the Tim Burton kind, right? Like even the comic books
Had to be surreal.
Tim Burton looked like the comic strip. So when you make it just kind of like it looks like ordinary city with ordinary people and just a dude in a bat suit, it takes it out of it for me. I need it to be on that kind of surreal level where it's close enough to real to make it believable, but far enough outside of real that makes it interesting. I don't know.
Well, Stephen, yeah, everybody has their own sense of humor. And if that's not your sense of humor, yeah, I can see why you would hate it.
For sure. It takes a certain
no
kind.
Shade. No shade, buddy.
No. Yeah, history buffs with me on Man of Steel. It's too bad because it's otherwise kind of like a really good movie for me. I actually physically cried in a couple spots in that movie because it got me. All my heartstrings it pulled, but the fight scenes were stupid. And almost all of the superhero movies now have stupid fight scenes like that. It gets ridiculous. I can't even watch any X-Men movie. Like every time I do, I'm like, I don't know why I sat down and spent time with
the
this.
The last one I watched was X2, and I went, okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah, I don't know. Deadpool shared my disdain for superheroes. Yeah. Tim Burton is fantastic. Yes, actually, if a Tim Burton movie comes out, almost always I'll watch it. Sometimes I don't always love it, but I'll always watch it because it's always a safe bet, just like the Coen brothers. Sometimes they're off, but kids. Most of the time, if a Coen brothers movie comes out, I'll watch it because most of the time they're really, really good. And you're right. The Hudsucker Proxy is my favorite Coen brothers movie, for sure. But there's a lot. There's a lot of really good ones. Did they do that? What was that moon one? With Bruce Willis in it and the lady from Fargo. It was something about a moon. It was a Coen brothers movie, I'm sure of it.
I don't know.
It was remember the Boy Scout camp? The one.
Oh.
I can't remember what it was called.
I remember something about a Boy Scout camp.
Oh, my goats are bleeding. I mean, not bleeding, bleating. Where is
Hello, Jack. Happy Sunday.
Coen brothers.
Yeah, Disney did a number on Star Wars, that's for sure. Yeah, sadly, it's really especially sad for me. My very first movie was Star Wars, the original Star Wars movie. My dad took me back when movie theaters were old theaters, right? And you had the big red curtains and you had the elaborate stuff on the walls and the fancy lights. And I would go in there 6 years old going, wow. And then after that opening crawl, that spaceship comes over. I'm like, wow. And then the Star Destroyer that's so much bigger comes over. Like, wow. I mean, as a 6-year-old kid, what a first experience.
Yeah, Empire Strikes Back was my first that I remember watching.
And then you look at what Disney did, and it's like such a betrayal to a boy my age.
Yeah.
Moonrise Kingdom.
Denise
got it for you.
Thank you. Was that Coen Brothers? Because it's not showing up in their filmography. Because now I'm wondering if I've just got it wrong. There's another one. What's his name? He did the Jacques Cousteau one. That was what's his name?
The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Yeah.
Is the movie you're thinking of?
Who's the director that does those movies? Because I sometimes mix them up, right?
Yeah. Oh, who is that guy?
Oh, now we're getting really crazy. Taxing my memory. Moonrise. Whoops. Moonrise Kingdom.
Who is it?
I'm getting there.
Wes Anderson.
Yeah, so so it's not a Coen Brothers movie. That one was really good too. Wes Anderson's one of those ones also where most of the time I'll watch it if he made it, but I've found lately it's actually kind of
really good or really bad.
Yeah, but it's kind of like 2 to 1 against the really in the really bad category these days. I don't know why. But Moonrise Kingdom was a really great movie. But like Coen Brothers movies, where Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? The Hudsucker Proxy. What else did they make that was really, really good? I can't remember now. But yeah, they're a safe bet all the time. I'll watch their stuff because they're weird and surreal and quirky in just the right way for me.
Weird and surreal and
Hi,
quirky,
Jack.
just like you.
Just the way I like. Right? This is my language.
What are you doing with me?
Uh,
I'm the contrast.
You're handsome.
Oh, thank you.
He's handsome. And sometimes funny. And sometimes even on purpose.
Oh, snap.
Oh. Jamie Landis loves that movie. Yeah. Written by Wes Anderson and Art Coppola. Really? Oh. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I don't remember that one very well. That was
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, right?
Mhm.
Didn't I ask?
I actually haven't seen it because the premise looks like it would make me very sad, and I really, really don't like Jim Carrey.
Mike does not like movies that make him uncomfortable. So scary movies, movies about people that lose control of their life.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
Yeah.
Anything about losing control, I freaking hate that. It makes me really on edge and uneasy to watch.
He does not enjoy it at all.
I don't get blotto drunk. I am in control.
Yeah.
I like stability.
I don't know what he's doing with me, guys. See, that's where I asked this question. What are you doing with me? Stability is not one of my qualities. Am I stable?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, but you have to understand that you're stable like an asteroid in an elliptical orbit.
I don't know what that means. Explain.
It means sometimes you're way out there,
Mm-hmm.
but you come back. I know how you work.
He just hovers in place until I come back.
You go out there and you want to have a big adventure, and it's great. And then you come home.
Yeah. Thankfully, it wasn't Wes Craven. Wes Craven's a great director, actually. See, I like scary movies. I like stuff that puts me on edge. I like stuff that makes me think very uncomfortable things. Like, because I like to explore my shadow, right? And sometimes it's easier to do when you have a representative story that it poses a question to you that you haven't really thought about and seek the answer for, right? So I like stuff that makes me uncomfortable more so than stuff that just makes me relaxed.
I like stuff that's exciting or makes me laugh. Those are the things I enjoy, right? I have fun. I watch that.
Never watch Bug with Ashley Judd. It's awful. Generally, if Ashley Judd's in it.
We weren't tempted anyway.
Well, okay. The exception is Olympus Has Fallen. She was in that. But thankfully, she died very early. And it was an excellent movie. I loved that one.
Oh, look, Ashley Judd died. Ginger's happy.
It was devastating when she died, even. It was terrible to watch. And still very satisfying at the same time. You can't ask your husband that question. I can ask my husband that question. We have that kind of relationship where the rule is don't ask a question you're not prepared to hear the answer for. And I promise not to freak out when he gives me the truthful answer, because he always does. That's why the question, do these pants make me look fat? If they do, he'll actually say yes.
No, I learned better. What? The answer is, I don't know. You have to take them off so I can compare.
Okay. That works.
Which is truthful.
Requiem for a Dream.
It rings a bell, but I don't know what that is.
Was that like an LSD trip movie? I can't remember. Hello, Affians. How are you? The Strangers. That one sounds familiar too. I can't remember what that is. Okay. She dies in Bug as well. Sadly not till the end. Does it actually have bugs in it?
Because that would put Ginger off it even worse than Ashley Judd.
No. I remember when I was a kid. I can't remember how old I was. Maybe, I I'd have to look up the year that it came out because in the theater, I went to see a movie called Something Wicked This Way Comes. And it was a movie about a traveling carnival troupe that was actually, I
Like
guess,
lizard people?
no. It was like run by the devil
Mm.
and opening the gates to hell and whatnot. It was a terrible, cheesy movie, but there was a scene in there where these kids get out of bed and the room is crawling with thousands of tarantulas. And he's trying to run out of the room. He's squishing all these spiders under his feet. And oh my God, I still to this day have nightmares about that movie because of that scene. I can't
Ray
do the
Bradbury
bugs.
story. I saw an interview clip with old interview clip with Ray Bradbury the other day. That was interesting.
Which one? What's the Ray Bradbury story? I'm losing track.
Something Wicked This Way Comes, I think.
Yes, I think it was too. I love Ray Bradbury stuff. I remember reading a big, like, compendium, would you call it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a collection of his short stories once. Always really good. I think that was one of his was the one where they had somebody. Oh, what?
I gotta chase a chicken.
There's a chicken in the rancho, guys. Fat girl, go. They like to eat the dog food. I don't know. And the dog's just laying here. Like Dave's just laying here, ignoring the chicken eating his food. You're a weird dog.
He is a weird dog. He's like, if the chickens eat my food, my people will just pour me more.
It's
They won't
true.
let me die.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Okay, so I'm not alone in my Something Wicked This Way Comes fear. It's terrifying, right? Oh.
Was I a garbage fan? Moderately. I like some garbage songs.
He's like spicy redheads. Now I know why you tune into our channel. Tom is coming up here again.
Tom.
So yesterday I shared on my Twitter a video because we have a turkey, a male turkey, and he's getting a little antsy because the girls have all gone off nesting, so he doesn't have any girls to hang out with. So he keeps jumping up into the rancho, and yesterday he jumped right up on top of my stove. And I had a whole pile of people on my Twitter saying, "You missed your chance. You could have just thrown him in the pot." It's like, yeah, but I want babies before I eat him.
Dave Basil says hi.
How much is the equipment needed to start a channel? So depends what you want, right? Like our microphones we bought when we first started. I got a kit off Amazon that was the microphones and a webcam and the headphones, and it was like $150 for a pair of headphones and microphones and a webcam.
The webcam was kind of crap, so we bought another one for another
$160.
160 Canadian.
Yeah. But the microphones we're still using. The headphones we finally had to replace because they broke.
Yeah, within the past month. So
but that's 2 years.
Over 2 years out of them.
Yeah. So it wasn't too much money, and we didn't have to spend all that. We just figured we might as well make it good or as good as we can, right?
Then you need a laptop.
Yeah. Which we already had.
An external monitor helps. So we use
a little TV for that so that we can have the videos on our laptop, and then the external monitor has the whole thing and the video so that we can see ourselves on camera. Makes it easier.
Make sure we don't have bats in the cave, stuff like that.
Sometimes I can see it, but far away, so I can't always check. So it doesn't require a lot.
Is free.
Yeah, OBS we use for recording. It's free, open source, and it works pretty good. We're not very, and we pay a monthly subscription for Adobe Premiere Pro to do editing, and that's maybe
$30 a month.
$30 a month, yeah,
something like that. But
I'm not very good at it. And if History Buff is still in there, I could use some pointers on the, what do you call it? After Effects. If you know how to use that, I could really use a tutorial because I fail. I'm terrible at it, and I'd really like to get better. So if he's in there, History Buff, hit me up, boy. I know you know how to use it. Okay. Ruben says watching Jim Carrey can be uncomfortable.
Yeah, he creeps me out.
I actually really love Jim Carrey.
When he's not just outright.
I like his elastic face. Yeah, I find him really funny, but Mike really, really dislikes him. There was a movie that we watched that you didn't mind him, though. I'm trying to remember what
Yeah,
it
but
was.
that's the upper end. I didn't mind.
Yeah,
Usually it's like, just go away, dude.
yeah. No, I love Jim Carrey. His movies, him as a person seems deeply unpleasant, but
Hmm.
I'm not inviting her for dinner, so it doesn't really matter. But well, it's a lively conversation in there. It's nice to have all you guys in here for a change. It's been a while. I'm really sad that we couldn't get our live chat working when we were in Mexico because where we were was so fabulous. I wanted to share.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yes, it's not exactly set up for it.
traveling with our electronics is very complicated and sometimes difficult. Hey, get out of here.
Angus, go away.
Go on. Go.
Now the rooster thought he'd try it. Nice thing about the rooster is if you yell at him, he'll actually go down. Unlike the hens. The hens you have to get up and chase.
Yeah, they're a lot bigger than the rooster. And they're belligerent. Who would be my ultimate dinner guest?
So celebrity dinner guest?
Alive or dead?
Yeah, do we have to
Or does
narrow
it
the
matter?
field?
Yeah, because that would be. See, my idea of celebrity is very different from other people's. Oh, Denise. Yeah, wait. We try to do one maybe every other weekend. We don't want to do one every week because I don't think people find us that interesting.
Okay.
Alive. Oh,
Currently
okay,
living.
so currently living celebrity that I'd have over for dinner. Tom Cruise.
Mm.
I think he's a really interesting person. I mean, I think he's a little bit crazy, but I also think he's a really interesting person. The way his philosophy on making movies, I really appreciate. Right, like he puts a lot of effort in, does all the stunts himself.
Plus, you'd
Right?
like to look at him for the whole
I
time.
do love Tom Cruise. Damn, I love him. I really love him. But like, he's an interesting person. I don't know how much I'd get out of him, but I have a ton of questions, right? Like he would at least have some really interesting stories.
Hmm.
This is the kind of person that's he goes out and he learns how to do new things so that he can be more authentic. I appreciate that kind of thing. Him or Christopher Walken. For many of the same reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm gonna go a totally different direction. I think it's hard to choose because there's a lot. But how interesting would it be to have Morrissey over for dinner?
it would be interesting.
You'd have to cook vegetarian or vegan or whatever, but
well, I can do that, but I don't like it.
But there's a lot going on in that man's mind that would be fascinating to see.
Oh yeah, and he's
time.
totally no holds barred with anything he says, right? Like for sure you'd get an honest opinion on just about everything. Yeah, but I think we'd fight.
Maybe.
I love him,
Maybe
but
not.
I think we'd fight.
He's smart enough to tell all his friends to stop watching the news, so he might not fight as much as you think.
We'd fight over meat. For sure.
Okay, so Stephen Hopwood, why are you biased when it comes to Carmen Ejogo?
Who's that?
Is that like your niece or something?
Yeah, I don't know who that is. No turkey for a masa, and you would definitely
but
fight.
he was volunteering for the oven.
That's why I have these animals. But okay, so my philosophy on farming is though we give our animals free range life and lots of love, right? Like they get all kinds of treats and love. We love them very deeply, give them a nice life, and then when it's time, we eat them and appreciate them. But they live very nicely until they get eaten. But they're gonna get eaten by something one day. It might as well be me. It might as well be fast and painless. In the third season of True, there's a third season of True Detective? I didn't know that. I don't think I knew that. I love that show. But I thought there was only 2.
Excuse me. We have another chicken.
Freaking chickens. I'm sorry, guys. Our animals keep interrupting. So,
Heather, get out of the dog.
For those of you who get frustrated sometimes with how much our animals distract us during our videos, I also get frustrated by it. Once I'm finished building our apartment, which I hope to be done by March, mid-March, God willing, We have a room set aside that we're currently sleeping in that we will be converting to a proper studio for our videos that will not have animal interruptions and wind and noise and light interruptions like we have right now. Our recording space is currently very temporary and it can be a real challenge. So I appreciate you guys that stick around through some of the videos of terrible quality. It frustrates me too. But I'm looking forward to having a studio done up. I'm hoping we'll have that done in time for our 100K. Maybe we could do a big reveal.
Salvador wants to see a live chicken.
Oh, catching them would be a real trick. And they're really big. Hi, Dave. Yeah, it would be hard to catch. I'm amazed. It's easier to catch the turkey, believe it or not. He actually lets me sometimes. Or he's too slow. I don't know, maybe because of that. But I have picked up our chickens a time or two, but they really are a challenge to get. They don't like getting picked up. The duck too, our duck doesn't like it. They're too free range, right? Like they're free range, so they still have their natural instincts to just sort of run from anything that's trying to grab them. So hold the dog food bowl.
It's too late. They finally wandered away. I chased them off enough times. They're not out there anymore.
Yeah, I don't know where they're at. Under the rancho, it sounds like. So I don't understand. Oh, Ruben. More bullets, less bullets, more art. Yeah, that'd be fine. Or at least better deployed bullets, right? Like we're wasting them in a lot of stupid places these days. That's for sure.
Well, not we.
Well, yeah,
we're in
not
Costa Rica.
We're
not even an army.
That's true. Oh, redacted message. Ruben, settle down in there. Being a true lover of quirk, I've been enjoying a TV show, Poker Face. It is a bit of fluff, but nice to see something that isn't deep and brooding. It's lighthearted, dark humor.
Oh, that sounds up our alley.
Yeah, I don't know where is that?
Yeah, who's streaming
Poker
that?
Face.
Or is it on TV?
Yeah, we don't do TV. We only have streaming services. And we like lighthearted, dark humor.
You don't want to watch the Latin American soap operas on cable?
Guys, I hate soap operas, man. I really do.
Oh, Peacock.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
We don't have Peacock.
Peacock.
It's like NBC's pay streaming thing.
Oh, no. And I pay for enough streaming services. I'm not going to buy another.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's too bad. We missed some of the British stuff and Australian stuff, right?
Yeah, we had BritBox in Canada, but our subscription did not follow us here.
No, we can't get it in Costa Rica. They won't let us. Yeah, I loved Black Mirror. It's hard to really love a show that
terrifies you.
Yeah. Like, guys, you gotta understand how terrified I am of these dystopian nightmares. Like, I'm paranoid. I don't like robots. The AI scares the living shit out of me. This stuff, right? Like, I see the Black Mirror future coming and it terrifies me.
That one with the social credit score was terrifying.
It was pretty bad, but it was so realistic, right?
Right?
And I love what's her name, Bryce Dallas Howard.
Is that who was in that one?
Oh, she was fabulous. But the one with John Hamm, remember?
Oh, like the Christmas one.
That one actually physically gutted me. So one of the Black Mirror episodes, yeah, a Christmas one with John Hamm in it. At the end of that episode, I legitimately had to turn off the TV and sit quietly for at least an hour after because the premise of it was so painful to think of. It was devastating. But it's such a great show. I like the thought experiments, so I watch it anyway, even though it's painful sometimes.
Good morning, Barry.
Hi, Barry.
Well, Jamie, we do have Prime, so we'll check for it there, see if we can find it.
Monkey needs a hug? What does that mean? Monkey needs a hug.
Am I the monkey?
You're more like a gorilla. Look out for an Australian series called Upright. Tim Minchin stars in it, and he wrote it. We actually really enjoy him.
Yep.
I like his style of humor. He doesn't take himself seriously, which is part of the thing I love.
It was good having the BritBox because we could watch the UK stuff, the Australian stuff,
the
New Zealand stuff.
Yeah.
It was fun to catch stuff from all over the
Yeah.
Anglosphere.
We like crime stuff.
Mhm.
Like especially like dark
Oh yeah, like
Broadchurch.
Broadchurch, Shetland,
Mhm.
uh,
Cardinal.
the Wild, the Welsh one that they did in both languages.
Oh yeah. And
How cool is that? Get bilingual actors to shoot the whole TV series in English and shoot it again in Welsh.
yeah, weird. So the woman who is put inside her child's toy. Oh yeah, the monkey one. That was no, that wasn't the Miley Cyrus one. The Miley Cyrus one was interesting too. Where they made all these dolls that like talk like her. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was disturbing. You remember?
I remember.
It was pretty good though. Try to catch Red Dog. If you mention it, I forgot.
Yeah, I don't recall hearing.
But that happens. We'll have to look it up. Oh, Ruben. Well, we're not that worried about whether or not you behave. The only ones I block are the ones that are like constantly, gratuitously negative.
Right.
Yes, Jim, I'm talking to you. For a complete escape, check out Wednesday. Yes. Oh, we've done that already.
Yeah, we enjoyed that. It was fun.
Yeah, I always really loved the Addams Family, and Wednesday Addams's character, like that kind of humor, I always really enjoyed. So we were right all over that as soon as it came out. It was really good. I was impressed. I wasn't expecting a lot, actually. I kind of thought it would be a little overly, what's the word? Politically correct. Yeah. But it escaped a lot of that. So I was happy about that.
You can't put Wednesday Addams in a pride flag dress because she's allergic to color.
She is allergic to color, it's true. Red Dog is an Australian movie. What We Do in the Shadows is my current favorite series. Oh, I don't know that one. Gonna have to look it up too. For pure entertainment, I enjoy the British comedy panel show. Quite interesting.
Yeah, I like QI, but Ginger doesn't like it.
I can't explain why.
Because you don't have the insatiable thirst for meaningless trivia that I do.
That's not true. I love meaningless trivia. It's strictly, I don't know, maybe it's the kind of you know what? I think I know why. It strikes, so I've always hated a lot of old British shows I could never watch and hated to see because they have an aesthetic that hurts my eyes, right? Like Coronation Street's a perfect example. No matter how good a show that is, I will never enjoy it because something about the way it's filmed and the aesthetic of it really, really puts me off. And QI has that. I can't explain what specifically about it bothers me the same way Coronation Street did, but it does. I just don't know why. And sometimes the humor leaves me cold, right? Like some British humor I really enjoy and some I just don't. Mike loves British humor, but a lot of it I just sit there and go, that's actually not funny. So, yeah. So that's the one with what's his name?
Stephen Fry.
Stephen Fry is the host, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Him I don't enjoy
what's
at
her
all.
name took over?
There's a girl in it?
Sandy Torkvig or something like
Oh,
that.
I don't know who that is. Torkvig. Tulsa King is good. Stallone. What? Is that a movie?
Yeah.
I love Sylvester Stallone. He's another one where most of the time take a gamble on a movie he's in because he's usually pretty good. I usually enjoy his movies.
I don't like gangster movies though. So
no, me neither. Like I've got to be the only person. You and me are the only people I know who've never seen The Sopranos. Not a single episode, right?
Yeah,
not interested. The Godfather. Everybody thinks it's like the best movie ever made. I can't stand those movies. I don't like. I shouldn't say I don't like any gangster movies because I really, really like The Untouchables. What was that one with Kevin Costner?
He was in The Untouchables.
The Untouchables. Yeah. I guess mostly I like the ones where the good guys win. But I don't like movies that celebrate and glorify gangster culture. I've never enjoyed that because I don't understand these people. I can't relate to them. Like the way that their philosophy on life and whatnot, I just find it like completely mind-boggling that actual people feel this way. And I know it's realistic. There's people out there like that. I just cannot relate to these people at all.
Oh, Basil, quit trying to steal my wife.
What?
He says Oscar was a fun gangster movie with Sylvester
Oh my
Stallone.
God, it's in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. And Mike hates that movie. You hate it.
Yeah, but it's because of the comedy of errors element. I hate.
He doesn't like comedy of errors.
That. And it doesn't matter whether that's American or British or anywhere else.
No.
That's like, why are you people so stupid?
Yeah, he hates
Just
Mr. Bean
irritates me
too.
the
He
whole
hates
time.
Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love comedies of errors. Because you know why? Because it's so much like my life is, right? Like I'm constantly stupid things happen to me, like weird, ridiculous things, and people go, "How do these things keep happening to you?" I go, "I don't know."
Yeah, but unlike in those movies, it's not because you're making ridiculously stupid
I
decisions.
don't know. Sometimes it just happens to people,
Mhm.
so I can relate, right? Like all these ridiculous, odd things that happen to people, I can relate to them, to how it feels. It's one of the reasons I love Christmas Vacation because, like, Chevy Chase's character is 100% me in movie form, right? Like everything he thinks and feels is me.
Yeah, I didn't watch Breaking Bad. I was like, nah, that's not for me.
I watched it. I actually watched the whole thing. I can't tell you what kept me in it, but there was many things about it I really, really didn't like. Like he was a terrible person. And actually by the end it suddenly dawned on me, people I know who he reminded me of, that it took a long time for it to sink in exactly how much of a psychopath he is, right? Like at first I thought, oh, he was just kind of one of those bumbling characters that sort of fell into it and just kind of doing what he can to make it through, but not really a bad person. But by the end it was like, no, he's a really, really, really terrible person.
Walter White is a bad dude.
Yeah, really bad. So the end disappointed me because I was kind of like, oh, I was hoping I could root for that guy I can't root for him. He's a terrible person. They kind of all are.
Mhm.
The only one I really liked was Mike.
I don't know who you're talking about now.
So, well, those are the people who watch the show will recognize Mike. I actually really liked him. He was a stoic badass.
Huh.
Like Mike. Not really badass, but stoic for sure. So, but Mike, no, never watched that. And I like, I've been watching Better Call Saul too. I always really liked Saul's character. Somewhat. Yes, every once in a while he does something that I'm like, no, I can't like you if you do this. So I don't know. I'm torn. Have you had a Christmas turkey get stuck on your head? No.
It's a Mr. Bean reference.
Oh, no, that's never happened to me. But like the one where he's standing in line to greet the queen and his fly gets stuck down.
That would be
That's never happened to me, but I can imagine this is what would happen to me. Stuff like that happens to me. Like all the time, stuff like that happens to me. So, haven't we ever been to the UK? No. If we find ourselves in Manchester and would like a Smith's Morrissey tour, let me know. Okay.
I've never been east of Quebec City, but I would love to go overseas.
I've been to Europe, but not to the UK at all, not even for a plane stop. So, if I went to England though, well, I guess the closest I'd really like to see Wales. And I'd really like to see Ireland and Scotland, but there's not a whole bunch in actual England. I mean, lots of people want to see London. London doesn't.
Yeah, we're not big city fans, really.
No.
Well, as you might guess, if that's living on a finca in Costa Rica.
Yeah. No, there's not a lot about England that, if I know that. Let's put it this way. If I have the money to spend on a European trip, there's a lot of other places I'd go first. So, but a Morrissey trip would be cool. That'd be cool. More so than like, I wouldn't go to Liverpool to see anything about the Beatles. And there's lots of people that would do that, make that an homage. Or not an homage, what do you call it? A pilgrimage. Sorry, mixing up my words now. No, Walter White was meant to descend beyond redemption. Achievement unlocked. Because he really did. When he let that girl die, choking on her own vomit, that was it for me. I was like, I just can't like this man after that.
He's a bad dude like Corn Pop. Corn Pop was a bad dude.
So I hear, Joe. Thank you. Thank you. So what are we at? We're at an hour now. You want to wrap it up, or the Highlands of Scotland, the center of magic in the world? Yeah, that'd be very cool to see. We like a natural wonder.
Yeah, natural
The
beauty.
fjords in Norway, right?
Yeah, I'd love to see the Highlands. That would be great.
There's a lot of like backcountry mountains in China that I would love to see if I didn't have to actually go to China to do it. Right? Because to get there, some of the parts of China you'd have to go through are places that I'd rather die than enter. Right? Like there's some places, same with places like India and Turkey, right? Like the big city areas. Even here, right? When we go through really kind of congested, rundown, overly populated cities, it just sucks the life from my soul to be in places so crowded and noisy and dirty. I just can't. Sometimes if I got to go through there to get to somewhere, I'll just skip it because I can't do it.
Yeah, like when we go to the airport, you have a choice to go through the center of the country and through the capital, or you can spend an extra hour and go up the coast.
Yeah.
Unless we're really, really on a tight timeline for very important reasons, we'll take the coast every time.
Welcome, Echo. Hello to Indonesia. We are just kind of randomly discussing various topics. In fact, this is kind of how our live chats go. We let you guys kind of run it. Whatever comes up from you guys, we'll talk about.
Oh, Sulphur Lad. Yeah, we went to Vermont, what, late 2019?
Yeah, I love Vermont.
In the
I've
fall.
always loved it.
Hiked some mountains.
It
was great.
And yeah, Mount Hunger, we climbed. It was pretty big. That was a big hike. It was fabulous, though. We love Vermont. I absolutely recommend it. Like the areas around Montpelier.
They call it because they have no French.
Yeah. And around Lake Champlain are beautiful. Yeah. I absolutely recommend those areas. It's really charming and lots of mountains. It was funny because the area around Mount Hunger, there's so much granite in the ground. Green, dark green granite with black speckles, right? Like the kind of stuff you would pay tons of money for to make your countertop out of or whatever. And we're climbing up this mountain and you're walking on it. Yeah, it's all in the ground, right? And it's like, oh my God, that's green granite right there. Like jewel tone green with black. Beautiful. And it's everywhere, just huge giant rocks of it. Amazing. There's some areas through there where, what was that mountain we went only half of? And was that in Stowe? Where we're driving the mountain road and like there's these huge boulders that you have to actually, the road goes around because the boulders are so big, they just didn't bother moving them or breaking them up. And it looks like alien kind of terrain, right? Like you look like you're on another planet. It's really very cool. So yeah, Basil's got us. Books, movies, travel, you name it. It's kind of like an AMA. Yeah, there's not a lot we won't talk about. I lived in Plattsburgh as a child. We went through Plattsburgh, didn't we?
I don't remember.
I think so. Yeah, beautiful there. We love Pennsylvania too, actually. The mountains of Pennsylvania are really beautiful.
And Pittsburgh was surprisingly congenial to visit.
Yeah, I was surprised how much we liked Pittsburgh, actually, because it's a city. And it has its grimy areas, but well, we actually found it quite charming there.
Yeah, well, we had a hotel with a view of the river and the stadium.
We took one of the inclines, and then we went to the conservatory, which was beautiful. Conservatory. Yeah, amazing.
Had dinner at a fondue restaurant that may well have closed.
Yeah. Sadly. Yeah, very therapeutic is right, Jamie. I love driving through the mountains. It's one of the reasons we picked Costa Rica to live in, because every drive is spectacular. Even my drive just to the grocery store, it's 800 meters to my grocery store. And there's a huge hill. And when I get to the top of the hill, right before I reach the grocery store, there's the most breathtaking mountain vista. And in the evening, that's where the sun sets. So it gets these beautiful orange and pink and purple colors in the sky. And it's literally just up the street. And every corner you turn in this country has views like that.
And for those of you doing the math, while you're driving to your grocery store, it's only 800 meters. We would normally walk 800 meters to the grocery store routinely, but we're on such a slope. It's like
it's a 30-degree slope this way, and then another 30-degree 30-degree slope this way just to get there.
And it's dirt,
Blistering hot.
and gravel. It's hard to get comfortable footing. Like, so that 800-meter walk is
Brutal.
more trouble than it's worth usually.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, sometimes we'll
We do
take
it
it just for
occasionally.
we get a ton of exercise just on our own property.
I
Jamie
can't-
says,
I can't get to that grocery store without being drenched in sweat.
oh yeah. Jamie loves my morning pics. So for those of you that follow me on Twitter, I often will go because I'm up when the sun rises. My chickens get me up at about 5:30, and I'll often take a picture of the sunrise from the back of our property where it comes up just behind the volcano, the Panamanian volcano Baru, and it really is beautiful. It takes my breath away every single morning I see it. So I share those on Twitter. They're actually very popular. I can't blame you. I can't blame you. It's breathtaking out there, and it's my house. I get to live here. It's fabulous. Barry wants to go to China if he can get a visa in April. China's one of those places. There's some things I'd really like to see there, but honestly, well, don't they still have a Canadian in prison there?
I don't know if they ever let
Just
the
for
two Michaels out yet or
just
not.
for kicks? Well, the two Michaels, there's definitely one guy still there.
Mhm.
China's one of those places where I would never dare try to go while the political climate is the way it is, because they legitimately kidnap other countries' citizens and they put them in jail and then they hold them there and nobody does anything about it.
Yeah, I have two problems with China: the government and the number of people. Not the nature of the people. Like,
No,
it's not against the
just
people.
too many people.
Just too many of them. I don't like crowds, man.
Jamie,
So,
no.
but you have a good trip and a safe trip if you manage to get there.
Yes, I will be
Share about
praying
it.
for you. Yeah, Jamie, no, Bruno hasn't come back yet. I think we've lost Bruno. I hope we lost him to someone else.
Dave has indeed given up on the run to the hardware store. He did that for like the first week or two we lived here, and he's like, "Nah, you guys go have fun. Screw that."
Yeah, yeah.
And the dog won't run that far.
Yeah. It's brutal. It's a brutal walk. So it's okay. We get it on our own property. There's so many slopes on our property that just maintaining the yard and taking care of the animals, constantly doing hill sprints. It's ridiculous. So I don't need a gratuitous walk to the store as well. And I mean, it's one thing to get to the store, but if I buy even just one bottle of club soda to bring home, now I'm lugging that thing up these hills. It's brutal. Thank you, Jamie. Yeah, I'm sad about Bruno. I don't know. I wish I could think of what I could possibly do to find him, but I don't.
Yeah, we've put the word out to our neighbors, and they'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, I don't know.
But for all we know, one of our neighbors gave him away to a friend. So, look, I got this great dog. There's a couple around here I wouldn't put that past them.
Yeah, it's possible.
So who knows?
It's possible. So I'd rather that than he got eaten by coyotes. So
Yep.
We'll just keep that in mind. If he shows up, he shows up. Every time I go out, I call around to him in case he's out there and just looking for my voice. But I think that's all I can do, right? Like, I can't start bushwhacking. I almost came across a fer-de-lance snake the other day. Well, I guess 2 weeks ago.
You definitely came across him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I almost had an interaction with the fer-de-lance snake a couple weeks ago. So bushwhacking for the dog is not something I'm going to be doing. It's too dangerous. So anyway.
Yeah, when you whack that bush, it'll be
it bites back.
It'll be something other than the puppy that comes out usually.
Sometimes, yeah. So we'll have to be careful. Thank you, Denise. I enjoyed your visit too. Thanks for what you do. Have a great week. You too.
Wow, it's already Monday night.
What?
In Indonesia.
It is? Monday night?
To accompany my Monday night.
Huh.
Well, maybe it's like the night of Monday morning.
Oh, Stephen wants to know if I started my access to the river/stream yet. So for those of you that don't know, on my channel, my Ginger in the Wild channel, I posted a video because we have a river on one side of our property. When you stand at the top of the hill, you can hear the river, but we can't reach it because the slope to get to it is so steep and overgrown that it's too dangerous to try to get down. But the river comes out like down the road a ways, there's a bridge that goes over that same river, and we took video of us. We traversed up the river to where our property is so we could see what's there, because it's easier to just put on some rubber boots and walk through the river. And I found a swimming hole and a waterfall in our backyard that I didn't know was there because I couldn't reach it. So I do plan to build access to it from our property, like stairs and a little bridge down to it, but I still have to do our apartment. Like, our apartment's in mid-process now, and I really need to get it done. So that project is taking precedence, but I got some rope so I could do rappelling down to it, but I ran out of rope and I haven't got more. So I haven't reached it yet.
The slope is so steep and often muddy, so far up that used up all the rope before you got to the edge of the cliff. But
Yeah,
you need it. You need
and
it to
now
get down
since I've been
safely.
down in that area and come across one of those fer-de-lance snakes, I'm a little bit concerned about using the rope too, because there's so much brush in there. I don't want to go stepping on one of those things just so I can go for a swim.
Yeah.
So I might wait until I can build stairs where I can watch my footing better. Because those things, like a fer-de-lance snake, if it bites you, you will die. And it'll be painful the whole time. And even if you have anti-venom, which lots of people here have anti-venom in the house just in case, because they're so common. Even if you do that, I've heard that their venom creates like a muscle wasting. You get like a flesh-eating bacteria that will you have to start amputating limbs from stuff like that. So even if you survive it, you might be sorry you did, right? So I don't want to mess with those too much. So, Salford Lad, thank you for coming out. Thanks to all of you guys for coming out. I think we should wrap it up.
Yep.
I hear my goats and I have to go pee.
All right. Well, that's as good a reason as any to stop.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. It was nice having you out.
Nice to chat with you all.
Yeah, we miss you guys. It's been a while. So I keep wearing your wellies. Yeah.
No fear.
I never go in the bush without my wellies
2
on
things
now.
everybody here owns is rubber boots and a machete.
Yep. And those are musts when you go into the yard for any reason, for sure. Even when it's stinking hot, you got to put those wellies on because it's not worth it. So anyway, thanks for coming out, guys. We're going to say goodbye. Enjoy your Sunday or Monday, whichever you are
Wherever you're
right
into now. Yeah.
And we'll see you on the channel. I really have to